Ponsonby was right on why Celtic fans are turning on the board. Bernard Ponsonby, a retired Scottish football journalist and Celtic season bookholder, made these remarks while speaking at a Celtic Foundation dinner this week, and what he said has struck a nerve with supporters everywhere. Something is changing at Celtic. The noise isn't just about results anymore, it's about how the club is being run. Because, for a lot of fans, he said exactly what they've been thinking. Ponsonby didn't deny the success. In fact, he made that clear. Celtic have been extraordinarily successful domestically over the last 25 years. But that's exactly where the problem starts. Domestic dominance has become a shield, something the board hides behind to avoid bigger questions. Because while Celtic continue to win in Scotland, in Europe it's a completely different story, and Ponsonby called that out directly. This isn't about trophies anymore, it's about ambition, and right now, the club's ambition looks capped. One of the most talked about lines from the speech, "Sack the board" is a slogan, not a strategy. And he's right. But here's the thing, that slogan exists for a reason. Fans don't chant it because they're clueless, they chant it because they feel ignored. Because for years there's been no accountability, no transparency, and no meaningful change. So while it might not be a strategy, it's a symptom of a board that has grown too comfortable, too insulated, and too disconnected from the support. Ponsonby also pointed to something deeper, the structure of power at Celtic. The idea that too much influence sits with one central figure, too much control, too little challenge. And that brings us to Dermot Desmond. Ponsonby acknowledged his role in the club's success, but made it clear that Celtic is effectively shaped by one dominant voice at the top, a figure whose influence stretches across major decisions, direction, and strategy. And that's where the problem lies. Because when one person holds that much sway, the system stops being dynamic, it stops evolving, it becomes predictable, safe, closed off. Fresh ideas struggle to break through. Real accountability becomes difficult, and meaningful change becomes almost impossible. That decisions aren't coming from a modern, forward-thinking football structure, but from a tightly controlled top-down model, and that creates stagnation. When power is concentrated, risk-taking disappears, innovation fades, and what you're left with is a club that stands still while others move forward. Ponsonby didn't just criticise individuals, he criticised the model. A business-first approach, safe, conservative, profitable, but is it competitive? Because fans are watching the same cycle repeat. Buy cheap, develop players, sell for profit, reinvest cautiously. It's sustainable, yes, but it's not ambitious. And in Europe, it's not good enough. The model prioritises stability over progression, balance sheets over breakthroughs, and that's why Celtic keep hitting the same ceiling. Another key criticism, communication, or, more accurately, the lack of it. Ponsonby made it clear that the board needs to engage more openly with supporters, because right now, there's a vacuum, no clear explanations, no real dialogue, just silence, followed by PR statements when pressure builds. And in modern football, that doesn't work. Fans expect transparency. They expect to be treated as stakeholders, not just customers. This is why the reaction has been so strong, because Ponsonby didn't just criticise, he validated what fans have been saying for years, that the problem isn't just performances, it's structure, it's mindset, it's leadership, it's accountability, including at the very top. So when people say, sack the board, maybe they're right that it's not a full strategy, but it is a starting point, because until something changes at the top, nothing else really changes at all. Ponsonby exposed the flaws. Now the question is, will anything actually be done about them? Let me know what you think. Is this just frustration, or is it time for real change at Celtic?